Hi everyone! Happy New Year's Eve. It's Jack's Girl. It is also the 7th day of Christmas. And this video is a little different than what I had in mind, but I was able to talk a nurse into giving me her shift tonight. I want to be there for the New Year, new baby. If that baby decides to make an entrance during my shift, I will be so thrilled. Anyways, this is my New Year's New Start. It's by Madeline Floyd, Seashore Sampler. This was the pattern that I was dying to get my hands on. I was watching YouTube and hello, Michaela. I was watching Stitching Michaela and she flashed this across the screen, and as soon as I saw it, excuse my dog. As soon as I saw it, I had to have it. And I looked everywhere for it. This one here was an exclusive free chart that came from the World of Cross Stitching. But I thought it was actually part of a magazine. So I went back and I looked and I thought, okay, during that time period of when she had filmed, when could it have possibly been in one of the magazines? And I think she might have mentioned that it was in cross stitching. I can't remember, the World of Cross Stitching. So I looked. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. I have my in-laws dog here as well now, and people are shooting off fireworks. It's only 1700, which is 5 o'clock in the evening, and people are already putting fireworks off, and the dogs are going crazy. And it's going to be a fun night for my husband. He's been at work all day, so I don't think he's going to enjoy his night either. Anyways, so this is one. I spent literally 2 hours one evening just trying to find this pattern, couldn't find it, and I reached out to Michaela, and she must have done her homework and research to figure out what in the world I was talking about, and she blessed me with this wonderful pattern. Oh, and so much more. I will show you guys in another video all the sweet gifts that she had sent to me. This was just, oh, I was beside myself thrilled. So this is going to be my New Year's New Start. On the on this one, it looks like they use like a light color, maybe an even weave. But this pattern was in California, or here in California, and I was in Utah when I thought of this is what I wanted to do. So I came up with this. The only thing is I like the way this reads. This fabric reads this way. I don't know if this would fit. I don't think I want this Fiddler's, I think it's a Fiddler's Ada anyway. I don't want it to read this way. Although it could, I guess it could. The other choice that I came up with, I had several different things. I had some Irish linen, I had even weave, but I love the colors of these. Now this one here, this one's a 14 count Ada. This one would work too. I love that it looks like sand, and with it being 14 count and having like the holes bigger, kind of reminds me almost as a net, which I like. I think it would look good with these colors. I know Ada is a little bit more difficult to work it with if there's a half stitch or a quarter, no, not a quarter stitch, but a half, no, not a half, yeah, a half stitch, quarter stitch, excuse me. But I don't let that ever stop me. I don't mind using Ada. I have quite a bit of it. It just depends on the color, or if I get it, especially if I get a good deal. This one I got at Joann's when they were getting rid of the DMC brand. Joann's is now selling their own label. So yeah, I bought that. I got this one, I want to say it was in July of 2018. So it's been sitting there needing something put on it. I love the color of this little crab. I'm kind of sad that he's called an edible crab. I don't know if that's his actual name. I hope not. No, probably not, because this one's called a necklace shell. might change his name. First of all, I don't eat crabs. I know a lot of people enjoy them. I enjoy them alive. And so I don't know. He might get a different name. He or she. But anyways, what is your New Year, New Start? Thank you so much to everyone who's been leaving comments. I appreciate the comments that I got on regarding the family history stuff. If you guys would like to see more of that, it's possible that, I could do some more. Maybe share more of my family scrapbook. And maybe how to get started. I'm not a professional. I'm just another person, like, any of us who are doing family research. And I contacted one of my cousins today that I speak to, and I just let him know that, hey, I was looking at the family tree you created, and there's a date that's incorrect. But the only reason why I had known it as a fact is because I found last night, I was so excited. Okay, you guys, I was on my way home from Utah, and I was in the back of the truck, because that's not in the back bed, but I sit in the back seat with my Dutch Shepherd. And I've got the seats warm back there, and I can stretch out and sleep. And so I prefer to be back there. Usually when we're traveling, it's after I've worked a shift anyway, so I like to sleep and be all cozy. But I was in the back seat, and I was doing some family research online, and then I found where my great-great-grandfather, Edward, the one I showed you his picture, I found a document that was scanned and uploaded to Ancestry regarding his naturalization papers. These are papers I have not seen before. He had to fill them out, and it was so interesting because it took him literally years to get that paper signed off for him to be a citizen, which was pretty amazing. So he started the paperwork in 1 year, and then another year he had to fill out some more information, and then finally it got signed off. And I can imagine there's probably a lot of background checks and things that they used to do back in the day. And with the lack of internet and mail and information being passed along slowly, I'm sure it did take quite some time, but it literally took years for him to become naturalized as a citizen. And I could just imagine how excited he was. But what the best part that I liked is that he was the one who wrote down what his birthday was where he was born, the correct spelling of his name, because a lot of times back in those times people didn't spell very well. Sometimes the person who even owned their own name didn't know how to spell their name, and they'd be like, oh, okay. And so one person would spell it one way, and another person who was documenting would spell things a different way. They weren't quite sure of their births. A lot of times back in the day, it wasn't as important to write down when a child was born. Maybe they didn't know. They just knew it was spring, or it was fall, or what year it was, and that's about it. And that's just because people didn't have access to calendars like we do now. I mean, you can go to the Family Dollar and pick up two probably for $1, a little dime store type thing. They're on the internet, they're on our watches. You go into almost any office and someone has a calendar and you can take a peek. So, but back in the day, you're back there on a farm and you're having a baby and you haven't been in town in maybe a year and a half or whatever. You don't know really what day it is, and it probably didn't quite matter, as opposed to, is it harvest time or spring? And so anyways, that's about it. I will talk about family stuff more maybe in another video if you guys like it. Of course, I'm still doing all my cross stitching. Oh my goodness, you guys, happy New Year. Any of you that have found this past year frustrating, I hope you guys just dust it off. Get that off your shoulders, dust off your feet, just let it go. Take the sweet memories with you. But remember some of those bad times, because that's where we grow from. Those bad moments, those times of sorrow, when we just kind of pull ourselves out of that, oh my goodness, we grow. We can do it. All of us can do this. This is a wonderful thing. This is going to be a new year, new start. wonderful beginning to a new decade. No matter what, find the joy in some part of the day. And I'm going to jump off my soapbox. I'm going to head to work. I hope that you all have a fun evening no matter what it is you guys do. And I will see you, hopefully, no promises, tomorrow. All right, you guys, bye. Oh, and Jane, thank you so much for your video. I appreciate it. Thank you for your comments. I love you so much. Happy New Year in Denmark and all over the world, in the UK and Africa and everywhere. Okay, you guys, goodbye.